This video is part of the What Would You Make open playlist, and I will give you a little bit more information about it after the first project. Lavender Heart. My first idea for a Valentine tier tray is to use this wood photo frame in the shape of a heart. And they do come in other shapes as well. I also have one that's just a circle. So I'm going to paint the heart, the stand, and the bottom in this pretty lavender pink chalk paint. And it was at this time when I was painting it that I realized the pink and red roses weren't going to do, so I grabbed my lavender roses. I wanted to show you how they're different shapes, sizes, colors. I featured the red roses like these in a previous project, and I had pulled these off the dowels so I could use them to decorate with. So I'm doing a dry fit with all of these, trying to figure out which one I like best and which one fits the best. And I have a lot more roses to look at, but I just picked a few to go through. I decide on one that I like, and I use some wood glue. I did put probably way too much glue. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I should have put it like on the inside of the circle. And here I put it like on the face of the heart. So I do have to come in and wipe away a lot of that glue. And I don't show it, but I put some hot glue on the back to help it stay put. Now I found this ribbon in my stash. It's pretty lavender, totally matches. Made the awareness shape, scrunched it in the middle, and wrapped it with some twine. I flipped it over and tied a nice tight knot to keep it together. Then I come in with my hot glue, and I'm going to put it just below the heart on the stand. Just like that. Now I take a nice pair of sharp scissors, and I cut some dovetails, and I will show you a better look at the final reveal. Jumping in with a little bit more information about the playlist. Our hosts are Connie from Connie's Woodshop and DIYs and Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. Our guest host this month is Anna from The Grace Life DIY. Their channel links, as well as a link to the playlist, will be in my description box below. The theme is wood. It's actually not a theme, just make anything from wood. So I'm doing ideas for a Valentine tiered tray. Enjoy! So my next idea was to use the number 14 somehow, and I had these two little house shapes left over from a previous project. So I grabbed one of the houses and I just pulled and pulled and pulled until I got it off that wire dowel. I'm not quite sure what you call it. But I got it off with a little effort, and then I put some wood glue on the edges. I didn't have any Mod Podge. I probably would have preferred to use that. And the hot glue is too lumpy under that kind of ribbon, so we used the wood glue, and it turned out just fine. And I do consider this house wood, even though it's probably that MDF. Since I have a lot of these hearts, I decided to just put one on the back. You probably won't see it too much because my tier tray is not double-sided. I just couldn't do it the way that I created them. And that's okay, you know, because I can back it up against a lamp or put it in the corner of something, so I'm not too worried about that. This is a rub-on transfer that I purchased at Dollar Tree. And I chose to do the numbers completely different because I thought that would be more interesting. I cut each number out individually and then rubbed it down. And these numbers are kind of tricky. They don't really, turn gray after you rub, so you have to check before you peel it off. I finished the one there. I peeled it off kind of quick. And I'm doing the number 4 here. And I'm using a piece of a paint stir stick to do that. You see me holding the number down at the bottom there. Now I did kind of an oopsie here. The backing wasn't flush with the number and it pulled up part of the number 1. So I just came in with my Funsel's acrylic marker and filled in the pieces that I lost. Better look at the final reveal. Roses in a row. So the idea was to use these foam roses. And I found this wood frame in my stash. And we're going to make it happen. So I have burnt umber acrylic paint and I'm going to use a wet paper towel to rub it into the wood frame. So I'm just going to get all 4 sides done and then I'll go back and fill in the parts that are lighter than the others. And I'll also do the edges. And I like doing this sometimes because I feel like it gives a higher end look. And now I'm going to paint the black part, that pretty lavender pink I've been using. And this is just in case the background shows through after I glue the roses on. So it's more like a just in case. So it does not have to be a perfect coat. So I just made sure I got the corners. And I went over some of the spots that were dark. And then I love watching the paint dry under the heat gun. And now that it's finished drying, I'm trying to figure out the pattern. At first I was just going to do 1 row different, or half and half, or a heart in the middle, or just one rose a different color than the rest. Not the same. So this is what I decided, rows of roses. And I keep calling roses hearts, so if I've done that a few times, I'm sorry if it's confusing. Most of the time I mean roses. Okay, so we're just going to put a dab of glue on the bottom of each of the roses, and we're going to push it in against whatever is already there. And you'll see they come together really nice. You can hardly see the background. And I decided to do the top part there first, so I could get an idea of how the next rows are going to fit. It actually fits perfect. So I'm just going to keep gluing them here. And that's really all there is to this project. I think this is a great idea for a tier tray, and I think you can use different flowers or different roses, or one of those easel backgrounds. But I chose to use this one, and I will give you a better look at it during the final reveal. Be Mine. This is like a bonus project. I had this idea to use these wood letters. I wanted a word on at least one of these tier tray projects, so I decided to do this extra one. It's just a chalkboard looking easel with a wood frame and wood backing, and I'll be using the wood letters. So wood is represented. Now I have this Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the letters by dabbing a sponge on them. And a couple times the letters stuck to the dabber, and I just tried to grab it by the edges and put it back on the paper towel and dry it. I wanted to do it this way because I actually wanted the letters to have a little bit of texture. Since the chalkboard is so smooth, I wanted the letters to pop a little bit. So I'm starting off at the bottom, and I do feel like I put this word too close to the bottom. So what I do, and I forgot to show it, is I just take my acrylic paint marker in black, and I just draw a line on the bottom of each letter so it looks like there's more room underneath it. And I'm sorry I didn't record that part, but you get the idea. So there, we're practically finished. I'm making the awareness shape with this buffalo check ribbon. And again, I just scrunch it in the middle, wrap some twine around it, and then tie a knot in the back, nice and tight. Trim off the ends. And I left lots of room on the top for it. So I'm going to move it down from that top edge just a little bit. Get a dab of glue, hot glue on the back there. And there we have a really cool black and white Be Mine sign. And I'll give you a better look at the final reveal.